President.
I recognize the senator from Oklahoma.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent. I have 7 requests for committees to meet during today's session of the Senate. They have the approval of the majority and minority leaders.
Duly noted.
And, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that we complete my remarks before the vote, move to the vote to
without objection.
To confirm our next Secretary of Defense. We're in a very great position we're not very often in, that we have someone that is enthusiastically supported by Republicans, by Democrats, and he is obviously the right person who is the trust of our president. He has the trust of our military, the trust of Congress, and the country to keep our nation safe. Dr. Mark Esper is the right man for the job. He's a great choice to lead the Pentagon, and I'm proud to support him. I'm not the only one. In fact, I'd like to make to take a moment to share some of the bipartisan support that we have for Dr. Esper from the defense experts, former officials, and my own colleagues. Senator Kane from Virginia said that Dr. Esper's confirmation hearing, during our hearing, he said, and this is a quote, he is a person of sound character and moral courage. He's been proactive and transparent, trademarks of exceptional leadership. Secretary Mattis, you remember him, when Dr. Esper was being sworn in as the Secretary of the Army, then Secretary of Defense Mattis said, quote, "The bottom line is the virtuous and the vile alike have written history, but let's remember here today that we're the good guys, and this is a man who can take us forward," unquote. Then Mark Jacobson, he was a senior advisor to Ash Carter. We all remember Ash Carter. He said, quote, "This is someone who can work across the aisle. This is someone who can work with Congress, and that's really what defines him, a soldier, a scholar." The Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, said anybody impartial would have to come away impressed by Dr. Esper's mastery, intelligence, and thoroughness. My colleagues on the Armed Services Committee also widely support Dr. Esper's nomination, advancing his nomination with an overwhelming bipartisan vote. Across the Capitol, both the chairman and the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee support Dr. Esper. They all support him. Chairman Adam Smith said that Dr. Esper is, quote, "capable of executing the national defense strategy in a way that is insulate from outside influence and political considerations. The department would benefit from his leadership." That's my counterpart over in the House. Ranking Member Mac Thornberry said he has done an outstanding job as Secretary of the Army, and I agree with Congressman Thornberry. Under Dr. Esper's leadership, we saw Army modernization move forward by leaps and bounds. He managed the largest reorganization of the Army in 45 years, prioritizing research, development, and innovation. He showed accountability to the taxpayers by being responsible with his budget, making tough decisions, tough choices, streamlining legacy programs, and directing defense dollars to critical future needs. Impressive, but a good Army Secretary isn't enough on its own. Secretary Mattis reminded us that civilian leaders in our military must be more than their past accomplishments. Mark Esper is more because he truly respects and honors his commitment to the men and women in uniform. And I've seen this firsthand. I was, back in April, I asked him, Dr. Esper, to join me on a visit to Fort Sill in my state of Oklahoma. What impressed me was how well he communicated with the troops in the field. He's one of the troops out there, and you could see the love that he had for them. He even joined them. This is in Fort Sill, and I was there. He joined them for an Army combat fitness test workout. He participated with the troops. He ate the MREs out in the field. Anyone who's been in the Army can tell you that you don't often find people who choose to do that, but Mark Esper did. Dr. Esper deeply cares about the troops, whether it's making sure that they have the weapons and equipment and training they need to succeed in their missions, or simply that they have quality housing when they are on base. Well, now we moved quickly to consider Dr. Esper's nomination committee here on the floor, but that isn't because we didn't fulfill our duty of advice and consent. We did. Dr. Esper testified for over 3 hours, and between his hearing and his follow-up questions, for the record, answered approximately 600 questions. It's clear that Dr. Esper has what it takes to lead the Department of Defense, and that most of my colleagues think so as well. He's served the nation with honor, integrity, and I'm certain he's going to continue to do so when he is confirmed. So I strongly request a strong vote to confirm Dr. Mark Esper to be our next Secretary of Defense. With that, I will yield the floor